The other problem with today's episode is that this free clinic storyline, if you could even call it a storyline, quite frankly, this free clinic stuff sucks. What is up, everybody? I had to really will myself to talk about today's episode. It's gonna be a negative review today. I fear, I started the episode and we saw Hayley and Randy together and Chelsea watching them from afar, and I was like, fine, this could develop fine. And then we see Bill with Tomas, and I don't like Tomas, but they're talking about Bill getting Lynette off, which is great because I love Lynette, although he's not getting her off literally yet. But then we get to see that even Leslie are on today's episode, and I groaned. And then we see that Vanessa and Joey is on today's episode, and I almost turned it off. I almost decided not to watch today's episode. Now, later in the episode, Leslie at least had some scenes with Joey, which is the only way I am enjoying Leslie these days. But let's try and talk about the positive first. But I just want to say, back in November and December, I was definitely someone who was pretty negative about the trajectory, hard word, of the show. But I've been trying to be as positive as I can be in January, February, and now. But a lot of you in the comments are like, it's hard to watch right now, nothing's happening, I'm going to stop watching for a while, I only watch reviews, and that's not a great sign. But I understand why. Let's start with the positives. I'm trying my best to be positive. Chelsea and Madison were watching Randy and Hayley bicker today. Hayley was upset because Bill is pushing a baby on her again. Randy and Hayley talked about some of Lynette's demands, and Randy is saying he will keep Lynette in check, which we'll see about that. But saying that Hayley just needs to finish this plan. She doesn't have to get pregnant with Bill. She just has to fight it off. They need to finish this plan because it could get them out of the game. That's when Chelsea interrupted, and Hayley was paranoid that Chelsea was listening to what she was saying, but she wasn't. Chelsea just asked who the stranger was, and Madison walked over. Randy left. Chelsea and Madison talked about how they picked up on Hayley and Randy's body language. Hayley said that was Sammy. He's the one that helped her with the miscarriage, and she wanted to hire him for an off-the-book assignment to be her bodyguard, basically. But Chelsea realizes that Randy works with Joey Armstrong and asked if Randy is a hitman, which sent Hayley into playing victim mode. Like, she can't believe that Chelsea jumped to think that Hayley is a murderer. I liked that Hayley threw it in Chelsea's face that that's more of Danny's solution because Danny brought a gun to her wedding last year. But Hayley went totally into victim mode, cried, which got Chelsea and Madison to bring her home to Bill. Before that, though, Tomas was with Bill, and they were chatting about work, and Bill has liked that Tomas has been working later. Tomas came in with the news that the prosecutor in Lynette's case dropped all the charges. So Lynette got what she wanted, which is great, and maybe they should start putting her more in these episodes so that I can like them more. But she hasn't been on in a while, I feel like. It's been a little too long for me. But then Tomas wanted to know how Bill did it, because Bill didn't seem surprised, and Bill says he has his hand in everything that happens in the DMV, allegedly. Bill was saying that it's so important to build relationships among the power players, and how, he and Danny used to do that with the power players and the power players' wives, and gave Tomas advice to do the same, which later in the episode, Tomas was calling people, trying to rebuild relationships, I guess, as if we're really supposed to care about the trajectory, I said it right that time, of Tomas's career. Who cares? Not me. Anyway, after that, that's when Chelsea and Madison brought Hayley to Bill, and Hayley told Bill about how she wanted Sammy to be her bodyguard. Bill was upset by that because Sammy's connected to Joey and Bill doesn't want Hayley to owe Joey any favors. Hayley said, "Oh, Bill, you're the only one that can owe Joey favors." And so, they worked it out. It was kind of more of the same. I think the problem with today's episode is it shows the two big problems with the show. We have the Hayley storyline, which I do enjoy, but it certainly is dragging ass, and they certainly are taking all of the baby steps to get us there, which would be fine if the show had other good stories. But the other problem with today's episode is that this free clinic storyline, if you could even call it a storyline, quite frankly, this free clinic stuff sucks. They just decided, how can we put some of these characters that are going nowhere, like Derek and Vanessa, and put them in a storyline? This storyline has Leslie, Derek, Vanessa, Eva, Samantha was in it for a second. It's totally random, and it's a bunch of characters that frankly don't really jive well together. Yeah, sometimes I like that Derek and Leslie bicker with each other, but the bickering I did not like today was Leslie and Vanessa. The Vanessa character fucking sucks. The Vanessa character is fucking horrible. Like, I don't understand what the show did with the Vanessa character, because the first several months of the show, that storyline doesn't even matter anymore. That's how bad the writing has been. Because even if Vanessa is to one day find out that Joey killed Doug, I don't believe that Vanessa would even care because of the way she has carried on with her hoe-ass self the entire time since. So, where is even the payoff for that initial story with the Vanessa and Joey affair, Doug's gambling, Doug's death, probably killed by Joey? Where is the payoff? We don't get one because the Vanessa character fucking sucks. And then today, I do enjoy the Leslie and Joey scenes. They are at least comedic, and since they want to make Leslie such a comedic character instead of an actual villain, at least those comedic scenes do work with Joey. But Vanessa's in the scenes too, and it just totally takes away from it. Joey away from Vanessa can actually be a good character. Joey with Vanessa, my eyes burn. Joey, and then I can't even enjoy the Joey and Leslie scenes because Vanessa is there. Leslie interrupted Joey and Vanessa's kissing, saying that Vanessa was busy sucking face with Joey, and that's why she couldn't have press conference plans. And Joey gets upset because Leslie's always throwing shade at Vanessa. Joey didn't like the press conference idea because Leslie is the wrong messenger and thinks that someone more likable should be front and center. Joey suggests Vanessa, of all people, the most unlikable character on the show. But then Vanessa's idea was Derek. Whoop-de-fucking-do. And then Joey, recommended that they work it out together and get Derek to do it. So Derek was with Eva today discussing the free clinic that nobody cares about as a viewer, but we're supposed to, I guess. And then, Vanessa and Leslie come, they start bickering with each other, trying to put each other down. And I found it so cringe that these pushing 50-year-old women are doing corny ass Yo Mama jokes from MTV in 2004. It's why? Today really annoyed me. In case you can't tell, it's one of my bigger rants in a while. The Vanessa and Leslie scenes were trash. Two failing characters. One's already a failed character in Vanessa, but Leslie's been going that direction too. It was cringe. It was not entertaining. I did not like the crap talk fest. I did not like Derek having to be the voice of reason while two 50-year-olds bicker. Moving on, don't even care to really talk about the rest of the free clinic storyline because, frankly, I am not even a little bit invested in it anymore. They just took a bunch of annoying characters and put them in one story that nobody cares about. Joey was upset with Randy when he finally came back to the casino because Leslie keeps getting in and keeps getting into the back to talk to him, and he wanted to know where Randy was. Randy's excuse was that he was at Uptown waiting for some of Joey's trucks and his distributors and all of that. Once again, Randy and Hayley escape them talking together in public like a bunch of idiot scammers that they are. And so, that's so that story can keep going slowly. But all of these characters continue to see things with Hayley that kind of don't make sense. The problem is none of these characters, I guess, decide to talk with each other about what they are seeing, which is going to start to become a stretch if, Naomi and Chelsea, two sisters, don't compare notes about everything they know about Hayley soon. Hayley seems to be wanting to rush Bill again to go to St. Bart's. We'll see if he can actually rush him there, because if she can, I do actually believe the story will start to move somewhere if they do make it to St. Bart's. But, with the pacing of this show, highly doubtful. So, not a good episode today. We are following the trend of last week where Monday and Tuesday were pretty good. Then Wednesday came along and was filler. Then Thursday was terrible. And Friday was equally as terrible. Hopefully that's not the case tomorrow. Hopefully we do get a better episode. But some of these stories that you can't even call storylines, because I don't consider the free clinic an actual storyline, need so much work. It's unfortunate that the show is, starting to really annoy its fan base, but, it does get tired after a while when the show decides to not give up on terrible characters. Instead of finding a storyline for Derek, could have got rid of him. They could do the same to Tomas. There's a lot of these characters that really don't make this show good. They make this show worse. And I think today was a big example of that. The biggest example for me is Vanessa. I think that character is almost impossible for me to watch at this point. I don't know how much longer I can watch this show live because of characters like Vanessa. I want to be able to fast forward them.